He'd pushed referee Mr. Alcock over, kicked one wide, and I used to say it was a goal. Well, I took Paolo Di Canio from Sheffield Wednesday. He'd pushed referee Mr. Alcock over and got a long suspension. But I just loved him as a player. He was a player. I used to watch him at Celtic and then at Sheffield Wednesday. I just thought he was a genius, you know. And so suddenly I made up my mind. His ban had come to an end. And I said to the Sheffield Wednesday, didn't want him back at the club because of what he'd done. They wanted to sell him. And I said to the chairman, I said, we were struggling at the time, and I said, I need somebody who can play up front or off the front and get some. And he said, yeah, I think we do, Harry. I said, well, he said, who you got in mind? I said, Paolo Di Canio. And he went, no, anybody but him. I said, no, he's different class. He's, you know. And in the end, I convinced him, and he backed me all the way, Terry Brown. And we signed Paolo. But he was high maintenance, but he was a genius. He was a fantastic player, and I used to make sure that I put him on a team in training where nobody would kick him, like Stuart Pearce or Nigel Winterburn or Stevie Lomas, somebody who used to love a tackle, because if someone kicked him, it'd all blow up. He'd have a row. It'd all be he was volatile, very temperamental. So I used to make sure that I put him on the right team. And so Johnny Moncur used to say, he kicked one wide, and I used to say it was a goal. And Johnny Moncur used to say, it's gone wide. And he'd say, okay, all right, it's Paolo, we need it. He just got to keep him sweet for Saturday, big game Saturday. But I loved managing him. He was, as I say, he was volatile and he was temperamental, but he was absolute genius, and he was absolute fantastic footballer. Make sure you subscribe to BetSafe's YouTube channel to find out what story I'll be telling next week. Who's the sub? I said, and you've been watching the World Cup. A young South African barrister who could have been a film star. They've turned the boot room into a prayer room. Got a puncher in a country lane. I mean, what a nightmare.